Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. This is live stream number 1002. If you're not really, excuse me, I was like falling over my tongue there. If you are not overly familiar with this show, let me point out, super casual, just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news and what's going on in the tabletop gaming hobby. So, welcome aboard. Now, I am actually doing a new format for 2024, and I am no longer sharing first looks and reviews here on the live show. For the foreseeable future, it's kind of a test run for the next month to see how well it goes over with people. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But for the foreseeable future, at least for the month of January, the Gaming Gang Dispatch is going to tackle the latest tabletop gaming news. Of course, when you're not watching videos here on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will not find here on the channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I also do want to mention that this is a live show. So if you are watching live, you can take part in chat as long as you are a subscriber to the channel and you've been a subscriber for at least 48 hours. There you go. So if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight is Roger Perdome. So welcome aboard, Roger. And I know one of our chat moderators, friend of the show, the Madman, is not with us tonight. He is doing a Wednesday gaming night. I wonder if he's running Savage Worlds. I wonder. Maybe, maybe not. Sarah D is with us. She is another of our chat moderators. Good to see you, Sarah. Thanks for lurking and popping out to say hello and retreating back into the shadows. What evil lurks in the hearts of men? Sarah D knows. And what is it's the I always forget how one of them at the end of the shadow, obviously enough, was the weed of crime. Oh, that is it. That's it. The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. I didn't realize that weeds bore fruit, but, that's how they used to end the shadow. I especially like the Orson Welles episodes of The Shadow back from 1935, 36. That was back when they would be creepy and some of the like things that would happen were supernatural and like lots of people would get killed. It'd be like, holy cow. And then in the 50s, the Shadow was just busting gangsters. It's like, yeah, oh, that's exciting. All right, welcome aboard, everybody. I see Kathy Evans is also joining us tonight. Let's jump on into the news because I've got quite a bit tonight on my plate. January 24th is going to bring the family game Maple Valley from Kids Table Board Gaming. Here's what I know. On the day when the last snowflake of winter has melted away, all the critters emerge from their cozy homes to celebrate. And that day is today. Was I excited enough? Maple Valley's annual spring festival is a gathering of friends welcoming the warm months ahead. Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish. And you don't have a lot of time to prepare. While the adults get the village into shape, the youngest and swiftest forest animals from each den are sent scrambling through the blossoming woods, completing the last-second tasks that will make the festival a success. The trails aren't always clear. You'll need to climb, swim, and dig your way to the most bountiful groves, forage for fresh spring ingredients to help villagers complete their errands, and unearth curiosities that will attract skillful scouts to your growing team. The sun will set before you know it. Will your hard work be what makes this year's festival the best one ever? Set in the delightful world of creature comforts, Maple Valley is a game of traveling trails, finding friends, and celebrating new beginnings. It is for 1 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays around 45 to 75 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $39 when it lands on January 24th. Sweet, very nice. Very, very nice. I like the art. The art style is pretty cool. Nice, cute style art. I had heard that Maple Valley is a game that's actually got some surprisingly strategic elements to it that you would think, oh, yeah, okay, it's ages 8 and up. It's got the cute art. It's probably just for little kids. That is not what I have heard. So keep your eyes peeled for Maple Valley. Next up, this month is also going to see the release of the horror game, The Stifling Dark. Here's the scoop from sophisticated Cerberus Games. The Stifling Dark is a one versus many hidden movement horror board game with an innovative line of sight mechanic for 2 to 5 players. One player takes the role of the adversary, whose goal is to prevent the other players, the investigators, from escaping through a variety of unique actions. As an investigator, your only goals are to survive and escape. Investigators move around the board in a point-to-point fashion using their base movement speed. They may sprint to move more quickly, but they need to keep an eye on their stamina so they don't become exhausted. Additionally, investigators can pick up and use items, lock and unlock doors, or use their flashlights to try and find the adversary. Meanwhile, the adversary is secretly moving around the board, trying to stop the investigators from escaping. There are a variety of investigators to choose from, each with their own special abilities. The adversary also has multiple attacks and abilities that change how you play the game. Will you fix the car and drive out? Or will you override the gate and try to sneak out? The investigators will need to decide if they want to stick together to watch each other's backs or split up to race towards the exit. Never split the party. Either way, they must move quickly. The longer the game takes, the more chances the adversary has to stop them. The game ends when either all the investigators escape, meaning the investigators won, or the adversary achieves their win condition, which is different for each adversary. The Stifling Dark is once again for 2 to 5 players. It's for ages 14 and up. Plays in around 1 to 2 hours. The standard edition is going to carry an MSRP of $59.99 when it lands in stores on January 19th. This looks pretty unique. And one thing that kind of jumped out is that there is a flashlight mechanic to this game. So I believe the investigators can't see the adversary unless they're in the beam of their flashlight. I was like, okay. So let's talk about some role-playing game news. Because friend of the show, Glenn Seal and MonkeyBlood Designs and Publishing has teamed with Bundle of Holding to bring you a great deal on the Midderlands old school Renaissance setting. And here's the deets on the deal. Adventurer! This all-new Midderlands bundle presents, well, you guessed it, the Midderlands. The grim green, grime-smeared old-school fantasy tabletop role-playing campaign setting from MonkeyBlood Design. Designed by Emmy-winning writer / artist / cartographer Glenn Seal, the Midderlands setting is a green-hued dark fantasy, late Middle Ages, early Renaissance land based on Glenn's home in the United Kingdom, the Midlands. Many Midderlander locations are grounded in reality, others pure fantasy from the designer's fevered imagination. This atmospheric, not to say fetid, sandbox setting adapts easily to any old school revival rules, such as old school essentials, swords and wizardry, and many other Dungeons and Dragons retro clones. Or you can add any of the horrific Midderlands monsters, weird locations, and beautiful maps to your own campaign. Don't miss the sewers. I recommend the sewers. For just $14.95, you'll get all 30 titles in the starter collection, which have a retail value of $60, as DRM-free ebooks, including the complete Midderlands OSR setting and bestiary core book, the Midderlands Expanded, and the City of Great London. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $30.28, at least that was the threshold price a little while ago, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 7 more titles worth an additional $70, including Adventures in Great London, Fighting Folk of the Haven Isles, Folk Magic of the Haven Isles, Bats of St. Albans, Chewer of Fingers, Behind the Walls, and Rivers and Lakes. It's kind of funny. It's like Chewer of Fingers, Behind the Walls, Rivers and Lakes. These savings run through January 22nd, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be split between the British Heart Foundation and Macmillan Cancer Support. If you have been following the Gaming Gang for a while, then you already know I have shared looks into a lot of the Midderlands releases and have shared reviews as well. And I really, really like the Midderlands. Now, it's probably not for everyone, but it's kind of an oddball sort of OSR. It's like a very dark fairy tale style of OSR, and really, really well done. So I should also point out that Glenn Seal had reached out on Twitter when I shared that I was going to talk about it's MonkeyBlood Design. And he said, hey, Jeff, reach out. So I'll get you the releases from the Midderlands that I have not had an opportunity to take a peek at. So that means we will have more Midderlands coverage in the not so distant future. Pretty sweet. John Muscola is with us in chat. Let's see, I thought I saw Kevin R. Smith pop in, and yes, he is with us as well. All right, so the news is going to continue in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
It's Elsie's winter treat. Whee! Oh, watch out, Beulah. Go, that's Snowbank. Uh-oh, too late. But Elsie says, come in and warm up with a cup of hot Borden's Dutch chocolate. Borden's, very big on flavor.
Borden, Borden, very big on flavor, very big on goodness too, very big on pleasing you with the good things that Elsie brings to every one of you. So by Borden, Borden, very big on flavor.
When it's cold outside, nothing tastes so good as hot Borden's Dutch chocolate, made with real Dutch cocoa for the best chocolate flavor in the world. Ask your mom to get you Borden's Dutch chocolate.
So by Borden, Borden, very big on flavor.
The Kool-Aid kids in sunny Spain saw bulls and matadors, but the Spanish food seemed hot as fire, and soon they had just one desire.
Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, tastes great. Wish we had some, can't wait.
The matador came rushing up and doffed his hat and said,
My little ones, don't look that way. Carico, this your lucky day.
Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid, okay, ice cold Kool-Aid, ole.
In Spain, we think Kool-Aid is the most refreshing. Senor Papa, Senora Mama, and the little ones love it. One package costs only 3 pesetas, just 5 cents. And with extra ice, delicioso.
The Kool-Aid kids are off again to visit other lands. Be sure to join them when they do.
Join them in some Kool-Aid, too.
Ice cold Kool-Aid, ole.
Another fine product of General Foods. Kool-Aid.
I really love my Wilkins coffee.
You ought to see a psychiatrist.
I did. That's who told me about Wilkins. I used to love my raincoat.
Back to present ancient Chinese pantomime, just for fun of it, Jello tonight. Back to present small Chinese type baby waiting for dessert. Chinese mother bling baby, Jello, famous Western delicacy. Poor Chinese baby. He unable to tell if this Jello is strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, lime, apple, black raspberry, black cherry, or grape. Jello come in all 10 flavors. Poor Chinese baby. But Chinese mother bling baby, great Western invention. Spoon. Spoon was invented for eating Jello. Baby find this is grape Jello, deep, dark, delicious new flavor. Chinese baby very happy. So end ancient Chinese pantomime. Is pretty good commercial, no?
Oh, Confucius say, no try Jello with chopstick. Use spoon instead. Ah, stereotypes. Well, let me count how many there were in those old ads. Ay, ay, ay. All we needed was a little Frito Bandito jumping on in there. Yikes. Yikes. Although I have to mention, I don't know if many of you out there recognize the voice of Paul Frees doing the Matador. Yes, the legendary Paul Frees. I know you're sitting out there, who? If he's a legend, how come I don't know who it is? Disney. It's all you need to know. Disney. Haunted Mansion. All right, back into the news because newcomers Cloak and Dragons are about to enter their final week on Kickstarter for the first in a proposed series of 20, yes, you heard me right, 20 Osric adventures. Here's the skinny on Tears of Darkness #1, Lair of the Silver Rings. Get ready for an epic story, or if you prefer, a single insert into an existing campaign. While this module will be set as a start for a much larger story, it can easily be inserted into any campaign seamlessly without using the included overarching plot. If we can fund this thing, it'll be the first in the full series of 20 adventures that will begin at first level and culminate in 20th level or beyond, with the characters ultimately defeating a demigod. By funding this book, you'll be ensuring the remainder of that campaign will continue with the remaining modules, because you have to realize they're all currently written. They just need to be dressed up for you. As a DM/GM of many tabletop role-playing games for almost 40 years, they can say confidently they have experience with setting up adventures. In fact, this specific adventure has been run multiple times using various versions, including 1E as a playtest, originally being done in 2E, another run in 3rd and 3.5, and a 5E playtest. And believe it or not, several of the players have been present for 3 of those runs, being so beloved that they were willing to play the same campaign 3 times. The city's dark alleys have always been plagued by the occasional cut purse, but disappearances have increased, and the city guard suspects this is more than just thieves. A call to arms has been issued to find the culprits and bring them to justice. This adventure takes the characters through a series of encounters into a dungeon complex and onto a corrupt noble's manor. Both areas are fully detailed in old school style blue/monochrome maps with more detailed colored versions available in the 5E edition. The module layout is designed to emulate the old school style and is set up for ease of use. The encounters and overall flow of the dungeons are in the same vein as the old school modules, with the encounters having been tested out, but not always balanced. Although the 5th edition D&D conversion is tweaked with more balanced encounters. There is a short Kickstarter video that's going to share a little bit more information about Lair of the Silver Rings. Tears of Darkness #1, Lair of the Silver Rings, is fully funded. You can reserve a copy of the module with PDF for either Osric or, any D&D retro clone, really, or for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons for a pledge of $15. Or you can grab just the PDF alone for a $5 pledge through January 12th. Expected digital delivery is March, with the physical adventure to follow in April. This looks kind of cool. Looks pretty interesting. And it sounds as if, now it could be wrong, but it sounds as if this Kickstarter is probably to fund some artwork, because supposedly these adventures are all written. All 20 of these are written. So there is that. Interesting. So by all means, check it out. You've got till January 12th. And let's be honest, $5 for an Osric or OSR adventure module in PDF, that's a pretty rockin' deal. So do want to mention that Kathy Evans pointed out if the Jell-O were in cubes, then yes, you could enjoy it with chopsticks. Well, thank you very much, Miss Smarty Pants. I'm just teasing. Kevin R. Smith says, supposedly all written in multiple editions. I think it's written for Osric and 5e. I think that's what they've got. Now, I can't tell you if all 20 of the adventures have got the double dose treatment there. I got to be really honest. There's way more information about this over on the Kickstarter. But I also have to be completely upfront and also point out that I have never heard of Cloak and Dragons before. They do not have a website. They don't even have a Twitter. So there is that. There is that. Kathy Evans says, I know my friends. I wonder if Kathy's saying she knows who her friends are, who her real friends are on this stream. Yeah, maybe that's it. Oh, her friends started doing it. Oh, wow, that's pretty wild. Making Jell-O and eating Jell-O with chopsticks. That's pretty wild. Final news piece of the evening, now available in print and PDF, is the horror adventure collection, The Diner, from DMDave, I think it's Publications. And I've got the grisly details. Introducing the Diner Horror RPG Scenario Book, straight out of the twisted realms of the 1980s. Get ready for a heart-pounding, spine-tingling adventure that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Step into the retro world of the Diner and brace yourself for 5 pulse-pounding scenarios that will send shivers down your spine. Watch in awe as a zombie attack engulfs the unsuspecting patrons, forcing them to fight for their lives in an epic battle against the undead. Feel the hair on the back of your neck rise as swarms of bloodthirsty spiders threaten to consume everything in their path. Got to point out, my best friend Elliot Miller would hate that adventure. Hate it. He's got this really odd fear of spiders, no matter how small. And buckle up for a demonic showdown that will leave you questioning your very sanity. But that's not all. The Diner Horror RPG Scenario Book has been meticulously designed for cinematic play, perfect for those one-shot gaming sessions. With pre-generated characters at your fingertips, you and your friends can dive right into the action, learning and playing the scenarios in one thrilling sitting. Immerse yourself in the sights and sounds of the 1980s horror scene as VHS-styled aesthetics come to life in every chilling detail. Dust off your Walkman and get ready for a nostalgic journey filled with retro charm and adrenaline-pumping excitement. So grab your dice, gather your friends, and prepare for a terrifying tabletop experience like no other. The Diner Horror RPG Scenario Book will transport you to the heart of the horror genre, where every decision you make will determine your fate. Can you survive the horrors lurking within the diner's walls? You can score the Diner in softcover for an MSRP of $22, or grab just the PDF alone for an MSRP of $17. It is not available at DriveThruRPG, I must point out. And this is designed for a role-playing game also from DMDave Publishing called The Horror RPG. There you go. There you have it. And it is built on the Year Zero engine. I thought that was kind of cool, too. So once again, 5 terrifying tales in the Diner. All righty, that is it for the news tonight. Now, we got to point out, I did not mention DriveThruRPG tonight, but if you're not aware, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you find yourself going over to Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller's Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get 5% of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, by all means, you can always stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. And a big thank you to the Madman, who is not with us tonight because he's entertaining his gaming group. But the Madman stopped by and made a not small donation. So, big tip of the cap to the Madman, and a big thank you to all the rest of you out there who either utilize, or I should say either or what have you, stop by to use our banner ads for the One Bookshelf sites, and or stop over at paypal.me/thegaminggang. Flaming Heron's with us, and Roll for Combat has joined us. It's Steven once again. Good to see you, Steven. Quantum Phase Dragon is also hanging with the gang. So howdy, everybody. All right, so a few things I did want to tackle tonight, because that's how the new format of the Dispatch is going to be. We'll do the news, and then we'll talk about things going on in the hobby, or just stuff going on. You can send in questions. In fact, I have a question I'm going to answer tonight. And no, it is not from Flaming Heron. We tackled one of Flaming Heron's questions last night. But I did get a few emails from folks asking how I'm doing, if I went to the doctor and had any x-rays done. Because if you missed it last night, I was talking about my shoulder is killing me. It's killing me, Smalls. And I didn't know if it was like bursitis or arthritis or a rotator cuff thing or what. So I did go get x-rays and found out that there's no structural damage, and it doesn't look like it's arthritis. So I have to follow up with an orthopedic group, and they're thinking it might be bursitis, because bursitis will not show up on x-rays, I guess. Whereas arthritis would show, because you just, arthritis is, you don't have the cushioning, between your bones and your joints. So Quantum Phase Dragon says, I tried emailing about the free bundle last week, but never got a reply. I wonder if I used the correct email. I'll double check, but I did get back to everyone who sent an email in for that bundle. So I'll take a peek, and of course, obviously, if it's not from Quantum Phase Dragon, you probably did mention your real name. So Kevin R. Smith says, oh, I just backed Lair the Silver Rings. It's just $25 to get both versions, both physically and in PDF. Excellent. Kevin, do me a favor. Let the fine folks over at Cloak and Dragons know you heard about it here first, or maybe you already heard about it. I don't know. Kevin's usually up on a lot of stuff. Probably he's way more up on stuff than I am normally. So anyway, how am I feeling? So I got a prescription for Tylenol with codeine. So I'm not loopy or anything like that, but I am a little off as opposed to when I would normally be doing the show. But my fucking shoulder still hurts. So it's like, yeah, thanks a lot. Tylenol with codeine. So we'll see. we'll see what happens. So I actually did set up some physical therapy for my back because I've got issues with that. It's just because of age. You know, that's how that goes. All right. Something else. Kevin R. Smith last night had mentioned Steamboat Willie, which I didn't follow up on because I was in the midst of something else at that point in time. But I have to chuckle because I was talking to Elliot yesterday afternoon. And of course, I asked him if he had finished up his Steamboat Willie animated porn. And he said, "Oh, no, I'm just putting the finishing touches on it." I was like, dude, man, you were procrastinating. I'm like, what the hell? Should have had that out on January 1st, man. And yes, of course, I think a trailer dropped for some nonsense, just like that Winnie the Pooh dog shit movie. What was it, Blood and Honey? I didn't even watch a trailer for it, but I mean, I had heard of it, and I saw like what the Pooh character looked like. So I guess there's one, it's now going to be Mickey, and I think it's called Infestation. And I was like, man, probably these movies probably make, you know, a lot of those old Roger Corman flicks look like it was Francis Ford Coppola or Stanley Kubrick. Yowza. But the thing I was kind of curious about, because I know along the lines Kevin had said something like Disney screwed up, and now Steamboat Willie, the Steamboat Willie character design for Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and whatever other characters. Isn't there like some big, mean, kind of like Bluto, Brutus sort of dog in it, who's like the baddie? So, of course, they're now public domain. But the thing is, oh, Sarah D says Infestation is the video game. Mickey Mouse Trap. Jeez, Mickey Mouse Trap. There you go. Yeah. So, unfortunately, Sarah has already pre-ordered the video game and has bought tickets for Mickey's Mouse Trap in advance. I'm joking. It's your money. Spend it how you want. Kevin R. Smith said there were 3 Mickey Mouse shorts that year. I think there were. But I don't think it was a screw up on Disney's part. I think it's just, that's it. Because I seem to recall about 25 years, well, maybe about 30 years ago, there was that push to extend the copyright. So I thought they extended copyright to like 75 years. I thought that was it. And for some reason, once again, I am not up on intellectual property laws, copyright, and things like that. But I thought it has something to do with the death of the creator. Doesn't it? Isn't that part of it? Quantum Face Dragon says, I feel you on the aches and pains. I'm over the hill by a few years, but because of a neck condition, I have the pain of an 80-year-old. Oh, sorry to hear that. You know, it was weird because before the x-rays, you know, of course, I had a doctor check me out. I didn't go see my GP because I wouldn't have been able to get an appointment until February. And I just saw her on, I think it was December 5th, somewhere around there, something like that. And I was like, I'm not going to go see my GP. So I just went to a walk-in clinic, and the doctor was, you know, checking me out and stuff like that. And of course, then put in an order for the x-rays. And she had said, yeah, it could be arthritis. And I thought, holy shit. If this is arthritis, I am not looking forward to getting any older. Because, oh, man. Be like, yep. Guess I'm going back to Arizona because it's like, wow. In fact, that's why I'm kind of like moving around because it's like, ow. Trying to get a little more comfortable. Roll for Combat says it wasn't a screw up. Yeah, I didn't think it was. Copyright ran out after 95 years. Quantum Phase Dragon says they're applying for a job as a dungeon master for an after-school program. If I get it, I'll be able to buy games again. Hey, well, very nice. Good luck on that. Break a leg. Kevin R. Smith says it's the creator's life plus 70 years, I believe. Very possible. Very possible. Flaming Heron says already getting those pains, and I'm not even 50. I got you beat by a little bit. I got a little bit. You know, it is what it is. Thankfully, I actually have a relatively high pain tolerance. So I will say that when they were doing the x-rays, the x-ray tech moved my arm to get it in a position that they wanted it in. And then they put, the way they moved my arm, I almost jumped out of my skin. I was like, whoa, yeah, that's so. That's the pain I'm talking about. Ouch. Hey, it is what it is. It's part of life. Life is pain. Pain is life. Also, Owen Thomas asked, how influential do I think role-playing game art and illustration is when purchasing new adventures or rule sets? So let's talk about that. And while we talk about that, let's touch on the AI issue that is out there, only going to get worse. But let's address just the overall how I feel about role-playing game art and illustration. When I'm doing a review, I try not to let the artwork influence the review score unless one of two things. First of all, if the artwork interferes with the comprehension of what's on the page. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Mirkbag. Even though I like Mark Borg, I'm not a big art punk fan. And unfortunately, there is a lot of crap out there for Mark Borg where it's sort of like, hey, let's do some artwork and pretend that it's a game supplement. I'm not talking Free League Publishing. I'm talking about some of these third-party, PDFs and stuff like that that are out there. So that's one of the things. Second is if I feel the artwork is just god-awful and has absolutely no uniformity to it. So I will accept, I don't want to say shoddier, let's say less stunning artwork throughout a book if it's uniform, if it's kind of similar in style, that's fine. It's okay. I also don't expect small publishers to be out there and be like, wow, blowing me away with artwork. Although a lot of times they do. Let's be honest. But is it Skerples who's known for that art style? I know Skerples does role-playing game supplements and things like that. Pretty well respected. But I could have swore it's Skerples. I might be misremembering. Maybe it's somebody whose nickname is similar to that. And they do a lot of artwork for Lamentations of the Flame Princess. For some reason, I couldn't remember Lamentations. I don't know why I use that word all the time. But I've seen, no, it's Scrap Princess. Sorry, Skirtbles, my apologies. That's why I said Skirtbles does writes these really good supplements. I've actually never had a chance to check them out, but I've heard really good things, like about the Monster Overhaul. Scrap Princess, that is the artist. Oh, it's like if you blinded me and broke every finger on both my hands and then put an ink pen that was leaking in my hand and asked me to draw something, I bet you it would look better than Scrap Princess's stuff. Seriously, I would bet you that. I don't want that in my role-playing game books. If it's just some weird-ass shit thrown on a page, I don't want it. And yes, I know Lamentations of the Flame Princess has some pretty twisted stuff going on in some of their adventures and pretty bizarre artwork in that. I don't care if it's like sexually graphic or whatever. If I know that's what I'm getting into, I don't care. It's not a selling point for me, but it's like, yeah, whatever. It's not like I'm going to sit there being like, oh, yeah. So I don't think artwork is a big deal as far as when I'm reviewing stuff. Now, if I were just a gamer spending my hard-earned ducats on various different role-playing game releases, I would want there to be some pretty good art in the books. So, yeah, I know a lot of people just really dislike the artwork that they find in the Wizards of the Coast 5e books. Roll for Combat is another company that people really complain about their artwork a lot. I'm joking, Steven. I'm just joking. I figure if this is just going to be a show about like the news and that, I'll goof off a little more than I usually do. So I got to say, yeah, I appreciate really good artwork. And there are times where if I'm reading an adventure or a rule book or a supplement or something like that, and the artwork is really well done, it does actually get my creative juices kind of flowing a bit. So Chaosium does really nice artwork as far as their various different like NPCs and stuff like that. I always like that because it makes it a whole lot easier to present those NPCs, even if you're not sharing the images with your players. Gives you the ability to pick up some visual keys to focus on when describing that NPC. Flaming Neuron says, this is Jeff on drugs. No, it's not. If I were on drugs, depending on the drug, I would be laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. So it is not outside the realm of possibility that on occasion I will enjoy a gummy as long as I'm located in a state where doing that is legal. So, okay, so let's take a look what's going on. Flaming Heron says, art sells books, that's for sure, but I won't make books great sellers. Oh, but it won't make books great sellers alone. That's true. I agree. I will say that it's easier to, I was going to say whitewash, but if I use that word, there's a way different definition than what I'm used to for a whitewash. I would say it's easier to gloss over a poorly constructed role-playing game system if there's like really good artwork, as opposed to having a really good core rule book at its heart with artwork that's meh. Because it's what people first see when they open the book up, they take a peek, they see the artwork, and if they see artwork that's kind of, they're less apt to purchase it. Whereas they open something up and they take a peek through and they go, oh, wow, oh, man, oh, that looks really cool. They're more apt to buy it and maybe be disappointed that it's not very good, but the artwork is good. Flaming Huron says, whenever you say Lamentations, my thoughts always go back to Conan. Kevin R. Smith says, you could go on RFC and discuss Merkberg's design. They've gone off on that before. Wolf Combat says, the design sucks. Game-wise, it's fine. I have no issue. I think it's all right. I think Pirate Borg is the best of the Borg releases. I included that in my favorites of 2023. And it's just, super lightweight. Roger Perdome says, come up here to Canada. It's pretty much legal everywhere. I'm here in Illinois. It's legal here. So, in fact, if this is how the Tylenol with codeine is going to be, I might be going and picking up some gummies because this is not cutting it. And it's been about an hour and a half since I took it. So, yes, and I know sometimes it takes a little while, but I don't know. All right. So, I do think art is very influential for role-playing games that do not have any legitimate reviews out there. So if it's a game book or an adventure book that no one has talked about, I think artwork goes a long way in influencing people in buying that. Once there are some reviews out there, both positive or negative, I think it's probably a little bit less influential, is my guess. All right, so let's talk a little bit about AI. Because I know there were people who were upset that I shared a review of the Throne of the Elf King. I think that's the title of it off the top of my head. No, Elf King the Immortal. That's what it's called. And it has AI art. So the book itself is actually pretty decent. I liked it. So I gave it a positive review. And Lucid Eye Publications has sent me more stuff. And I'm sort of on the fence as far as providing any more coverage of it, because I know that the AI art is a big sticking point with people. And I am leaning towards not covering games that have AI artwork, not providing coverage for them. Because yes, I understand the artwork is being cribbed from other real life artists for that AI artwork to be constructed. So one thing I don't have an issue with, and we saw this if you've seen my page through of Adventurous, my first look at that role-playing game, it's artwork, it's not artwork, it's photography that has had filters placed on it so it looks kind of artistic. That doesn't count. That's artwork. That's their artwork. It's their photography. So there is no AI. Because I had said I thought maybe it was AI enhanced. Because I know there are a lot of, okay, maybe not a lot, but there are publishers out there who are using that route. I don't know how people feel about that. But I should mention, I was kidding. I'm sure people did understand I was kidding Stephen from Roll for Combat about their artwork, people complaining about it. The artwork is actually really well done for Roll for Combat releases, at least that I've had a chance to take a peek at. So I was teasing Stephen. Stephen knows that. I just want to make sure everybody else knows that too. Probably sitting there like, Damn. Jeff called that dude out right there in chat. Shit. Daryl Errett is with us. Might be a first time visit in chat for Daryl. If not, I'm sorry. I'm not real good on names usually. Says, well, it's a wonder the 3 D&D booklets launched the RPG industry because my 5-year-old self could have done better art. Yeah. But, you know, the funny thing is, it was just, nobody expected anything. So I was like, oh, okay. Oh, what's that? You know who else had really awful artwork? Judges Guild. Oh, man. Oh, my eyes were starting to bleed a little bit just thinking about it. Man, that was just some awful artwork. And they saved like their best work for the covers. And it was like, really? I mean, it looked like the worst Marvel or DC artists when they were on drugs doing artwork. You know, it's funny. I didn't really buy Judges Guild stuff. Couple of reasons. Number one, I didn't like their presentation. I didn't like the typewritten pages. Yes, I know there are a lot of classic Judges Guild releases that people are very fond of. We are not going to talk about any particular entities from that company. Just talking about the releases that they had. And I know a lot of people have fond nostalgia, but for one, I didn't like the typewritten pages, and I did not like the pulp paper feel. I don't know how many of you out there actually have ever had like a late 1970s, early 1980s Judges Guild release in your hands. It's just has a odd, cheap feel to it. And it definitely would not hold up. Would not hold up to repeated usage. But see, back then, we weren't expecting like fantastic artwork. So if we got some cool line art, we were like, wow, look at that. Ooh, that's pretty good. So, but anyway, yes, as far as the AI artwork goes, I am more than likely going to maybe do one video that shares the other Lucid Eye Productions items that have been sent, because they've sent me like a companion book and some adventures. I've got miniatures, which miniatures, I don't have any. In fact, I have some of them right here. So we don't have to worry about AI with that. But I might just do one kind of like overall video, which encompasses all the stuff that they've sent, and then kind of leave it at that. Because they were kind enough to send me these releases, which, you know, that's money out of their pocket. They could have sold those copies. But I do know a lot of people out there were very upset. Well, maybe not a lot, but there were people who were not thrilled that I was sharing the Elf King, the Immortal, with that AI art. So just point that out. Kevin R. Smith says the AIs aren't lazy. They draw extra fingers. Because Flaming Heron said, my problem with some AI artwork is it comes off as lazy because it's low effort. Flaming Heron also pointed out, my only allowance would be if the AI art was based on your own work, then they wouldn't have an issue. So there is that. All right. As I mentioned previously, the new format, we're going to try to stick to about an hour for the show. So we are rapidly approaching the 1 hour mark. One last thing I will mention, I had received an email asking me, what am I expecting from this new format? I'm not really expecting anything. I just figured this will give more content for people to enjoy on the Gaming Gang channel and kind of keep the news as one video and then first looks and reviews and stuff as other videos. So that's all. I would hope that we run at about the same number of views as we get on the live show normally. I would hate to see it drop off because it's not like, you know, I'm pulling in thousands of views or anything, but I think it should run about the same. All righty then. That is it for this time out. Do want to mention what you can look forward to. Later on in the week, I will be sharing a first look video at Shadow Dark from Arcane Library, as well as Black Horse, which my pal Mark H. Walker from Tiny Battle Publishing sent along my way. I've got some reviews on the horizon, including the Savage Pathfinder from Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and some releases from The One Ring and Lord of the Rings role-playing, which I'm actually going to do one review video for the books for each. So you know how they release one book for The One Ring and another book for Lord of the Rings role-playing, but it's kind of the same content. So I'm going to share one video reviewing both of them essentially as a single entity. So stay tuned for that as well. All right. So once again, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming first look at the aforementioned Shadow Dark. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you will not find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. If you watched live, thank you very much. If you happen to watch live and took part in chat, big tip of the cap, because you're not only keeping me company, you're keeping each other company as well. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very kindly for taking time out to watch any of the over 1,600 videos, zoinks, here on the Gaming Gang channel. Everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. And I'll be back tomorrow. And here's hoping all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.